Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE News and Rumors. I'm your host, Brandon Hodge. So this video is brought to you guys by SeatGeek. So if you guys are looking for tickets for any event in the entire world, get them through SeatGeek. Use my last name at checkout. You'll get $20 off your tickets. That's good for first-time orders only. So if you order through SeatGeek before, just make a new account. You can still use the code and get $20 off for any ticket for any event in the entire world. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so it has happened. SummerSlam 2025 is officially over. We know the results. We know what happened. We have a brand new undisputed WWE champion, if you will. We also have a brand new World Heavyweight champion. We have freaking Brock Lesnar back in the WWE. There is so much going on, and this is crazy. So I'm gonna kind of still wrap my mind around everything that happened at SummerSlam, and SummerSlam may have topped WrestleMania this year because SummerSlam was freaking incredible. But nonetheless, I gotta stop running my mouth. We actually have to talk about some subjects today. So we're talking about some news and rumors. So let's go ahead and jump in with the first news story of the day. So the first news story of the day is being by none other than Mr. John Cena, if you will. So John Cena, of course, is on his retirement tour this year. He's having one last year of wrestling in the rest of his career, I guess. He's a big Hollywood movie star right now. So, like, yeah, he's going to be all Hollywood, I guess, and closing the chapter of his life where he was a WWE wrestler. I'm sure he'll pop up every once in a while, but yeah, this is basically it. So, the year is winding down, which is kind of crazy to say, but I guess it's August now. It's like the most of the year's already behind us, which is absolutely like crazy to think about. But anyway, it's very, very sad for John Cena's year because this is his last year as a wrestler. So he ultimately he did an interview after SummerSlam. So this is very, very new. It was like today, and he basically said he only has 12 dates left on his WWE contract. So we have 12 appearances. That does not mean 12 matches, but the premium live events that he'll be scheduled for and will be at, which I would imagine he'll be wrestling at these. We have a Clash in Paris, of course. He'll be there. We got Crown Jewel over happening in Australia. He will be there. Survivor Series over there in San Diego. He'll be there. And the Saturday night's main event. So I'd imagine that would mean he's wrestling at each one of those. So that's 4 more matches in John Cena's career. Oh, guys, it's just hard to think about only 4 more matches left. But ultimately, it's 12 appearances. Counting those, but those other appearances will just be kind of talking and building up these matches. But maybe 4 matches left, and that's just sad to think about. It's just crazy to think about. Me personally, I love going to wrestling shows, so I'm thinking, can I go to one of these last four things? Because I don't think I really got to see Cena wrestle this year. Of course, I saw him front row when I was in Knoxville for front row on SmackDown. So I got to see Cena from the front row, which was cool, and he got to trash talk a little bit. There was a little brawling in there, but it wasn't an official match or whatever, but still, I wish I could see that. I don't think I'm going to be able to go to any of those, considering 2 of those 4 are going to be like in a total other country across an ocean. But nonetheless, that's just my kind of thoughts as a wrestling fan. It's crazy to think about, but yeah, Cena's only got 12 dates left on his freaking entire career. Alright, so that's the only confirmed thing I want to talk about today, but ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and talk about some unconfirmed things, so take them all with a grain of salt. They're called rumors. Alright, the first rumor we're talking about today is about Seth Rollins and his cash in. He shocked the world. Seth Rollins was injured, right? He was down for the count, and everyone thought he had to have knee surgeries around on these crutches, and has his leg wrapped up, and he's like that for, what, like a month or something like that. Then at SummerSlam, he comes out after CM Punk wins the title. It comes out in its crutches with his briefcase, of course. You can cash in his briefcase, this briefcase right here. You can cash this thing in anytime, anywhere for a shot of that title. And he's basically going to cash the thing in, but he's on crutches. He's like, I'll be back to cash this thing in. He turns around, and he drops his crutches, takes off his knee brace, and goes, ha ha, I was just playing. I'm not injured at all. And then just like the turn of the century. So that was kind of spoiled a little bit. There was like rumors going around saying that Seth Rollins was always planning to do like an injury kind of spot at the Saturday Night's Main Event show, and then it became like, oh, maybe he actually got injured and it was actually real or whatever, and then everyone was like, what's going on? There's kind of rumors, and that was kind of spoiled, but basically they were trying to keep it a secret. That's what this rumor is saying, is basically everyone backstage really didn't know. They thought Rollins was actually injured, so they were like really, really surprised. Wrestlers, writers, whoever it may be, it was kind of kept kind of quiet, but apparently not quite enough for it to get out and have those rumors of being like, it's not real. It's actually a storyline injury, just from everybody shockingly cashing the thing. But still, we're like, everyone's running their mouth, and I'm like, well, I really hope this is true that he's not injured, because if it's true that he is injured, we're just horrible people talking about this guy. But yeah, it ended up being like just a total storyline thing, which is so cool. All right, the next rumor we're going to be talking about today is about the 2-night premium live event. So of course, SummerSlam this year was the first ever 2-night SummerSlam in history, and I gotta say, it actually worked pretty smoothly. Like they had such a good build up. They had so many good matches. Like they had such a good content in there, though. It didn't feel boring. It didn't feel drawn out or watered down like the first few WrestleMania 2 nights did. Of course, WrestleMania 2 nights were always what would happen in the past, but I wouldn't say always, but that was kind of a newer thing too. But for the past few years, it's been 2 nights. But apparently, WWE are loving this. We're like, hey, WrestleMania did good. SummerSlam did good with 2 nights. Instead of doing a 1-night show, you get to do a 2-night show, which means double the money for them because they get to sell out the entire stadium 2 times and have 2 times the content, the pay-per-view buys or whatever. I don't even want to call it pay-per-view buys anymore. Whatever they get, they add money or whatever sources they get by streaming 2 shows instead of 1. Because of course they're not really doing pay-per-views anymore because that doesn't really exist anymore. But nonetheless, they're loving it so much so that they want to keep doing 2-night premium live events for as much as they freaking can. So there's rumors for a while they were going to do the big 4, of course, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Bring those all to 4 nights eventually in the foreseeable future. But apparently they're loving this so much so they say, let's go a step further. Let's make it 5. Which one are they going to pick? They're actually picking Money in the Bank because they're like, it's already set up. You have a men's Money in the Bank briefcase match and you have a women's Money in the Bank briefcase match. So you got 2 nights of main matches there that can main event each night. So they're kind of like that. That's what they're trying to do. Now I'm not saying it's going to be next year, but within the foreseeable future, they would like to push it up to 5. Those 5 premium live events will be 2-night spectaculars, if you will. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually it. This is the final news story, the final rumor, the final thing I'm going to be talking about inside this episode of WWE News Rumors. What are we going to talk about? What's the biggest thing in wrestling right now? What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the Beast Incarnate. We're going to talk about Brock Lesnar's WWE return. So yeah, Brock Lesnar is back in the WWE. Now there's a lot of rumors and a lot of people having issues and there's like WWE's trying to keep it quiet and they don't want to hear the talk about it or whatever, but like Lesnar was into some controversy with the whole Vince McMahon thing, and I don't really want to get into that myself because that's like kind of an iffy subject. But like, yeah, hopefully he's cleared. But apparently the rumors are saying that WWE not medical. I'm used to saying like wrestlers are medically cleared. No, not medical. That's WWE legal. I'm not used to that. That's a new one. Is that the WWE's legal team actually cleared Lesnar's name like 4 months ago? That it was okay for him to come back and it wouldn't come back on WWE in any negative way if he did come back, or he wouldn't have any legal issues anyway. So yeah, basically WWE's legal cleared him like 4 months ago. So they've just been waiting for the perfect opportunity. And apparently that perfect opportunity was SummerSlam. I gotta say it was great. It was something no one really saw coming. Like I'm always like, what's the biggest return WWE could do right now? What is the biggest return? I mean, literally they could do. I mean, you have The Rock come back, but like The Rock should be coming back at some point. But something we don't see coming, that a guy that could actually come to the WWE and still wrestle, that is able to wrestle and still like one of the biggest stars on the planet. It's gotta be Brock Lesnar. That's got to be the freaking guy. So ultimately, how do they do this? How do they keep it such a secret? Basically, no one backstage knew. The writers, what's up with them keeping people from the writers, like stuff from the writers? Like the writers should be known, but I guess the writers have history of like leaking things since they don't have like, they're not like long-term WWE employees. They just bring in these writers or whatever. So basically, yeah, no one really backstage knew. And to keep it even more of a top secret, they just didn't fly Lesnar in like normal wrestler they would and have him just like hang out or whatever. Lesnar was actually not even flown in until it was already dark, which is crazy considering this show literally started when the sun was still up. So it was after the show even started is when they flew him in, I guess on a private jet from his farm in Canada or something. I don't really know. I mean, that's absolutely crazy that they did that. I mean, I guess it wasn't that far of a flight, maybe like a 2-hour flight. So yeah, literally like they didn't fly him in until it was after dark, so no one would even see him at all. There would be no one at the airports that much. There wouldn't be any wrestlers around. There wouldn't be much people like at all. You just sneak the guy in like as soon as he's gonna go on. Apparently he didn't even come into the arena till it was his time to come out. Like it was a total top secret, and they really did this one like the best they possibly could, because there wasn't literally a single peep about Brock Lesnar even returning any time near the future. Like not even a peep, and you gotta love that. That's what makes wrestling great, is those surprises. Love it or hate it, it was definitely a giant surprise, and probably the biggest surprise they could have done at SummerSlam. So there you guys have it. That is today's news and rumors. Let me know your thoughts on all these news and rumors in the comment section down below. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your one and only undisputed king of vlog style, Brandon Hodge, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.